Ah, there we go.
Well, it's getting dark and we've got a nice full moon.
I went ahead and took the stainless steel panel off of this side.
Hello, welcome to WayPoint Survival. Today, I've got a really great tent to show you. Something that I've been wanting to test out for quite a long time. What we've got loaded here on the bike trailer is the RBM Outdoor UP2 tent. Comes with a very nice box that ships in that has the wood stove. I've wanted to try this for a very long time, ever since I saw my very first one, and I've got a chance to test it out, and I'm going to show that to you right now. After we get it unstrapped, you can see this is a very large tent, and it's in a heavy-duty vinyl bag. This stuff's really tough. And of course, this is not a backpacking tent. This is for a vehicle. So whether you're using an e-bike like I am, or a four-wheeler, or a snowmobile, depending on your weather. But this thing is really well made. And let's go ahead and get that set up right now. So I'm very impressed by the overall quality of just all of the components of this tent. Now, this is not necessarily a cheap tent, but again, as I told you in a previous video, it's one of those buy once, cry once things. This is going to last you for years. Well taken care of, properly stored, and it has a multiple four-season type configuration, and I'll show you some of those features. But again, it's very simple to operate, and it literally comes with everything that you need to put it together. It has a great instruction booklet, tells you all about the specs, nice color photos, and different things that other people have done with it. But I really like this book. It's very easy to read and understand. It has all of the guidelines. It comes with all of the stakes, and it's got two kinds of stakes. It has ice screws, or stakes for really hard ground, and then it has some heavy-duty metal stakes. So there's enough in here to put it up in just about any kind of condition, and it comes with a super nice heavy-duty drawstring bag, so that's just a great feature. Everything snaps nicely into place, and this is an umbrella-style tent. Now, umbrella-style tents have been out since the 1920s, 1930s, but this one is extremely well-designed and well thought out. It also comes with a really nice floor that you can get that as an option depending on which package you get. But this is a heavy insulated floor, not only to protect your tent from rocks and sticks and stobs and things, but it's also really fantastic for insulating from cold on the ground if you're sleeping in a sleeping bag. It's also really great for keeping the heat from the wood stove from melting the snowpack under you if it happens to be that cold where you are and you're using this, for instance, as a winter hunting tent or a winter hunting camp. So I'm going to use this floor just because this is kind of uneven ground, and I want to protect the floor of the tent from all of the roughness here. And by the way, it's two different types of camouflage. You have a woodland type here, and then a woodland type digital on the other side. You can use whichever one suits you the best. And then it just all folds down out around everything. And you want to go ahead and open all of these up like so. Once we have this situated like we want it, it's a simple matter then to step inside like this and begin to raise the whole thing up. All right, and that's how it looks when it's up. And then as you notice, it's got slots here, just right there. And this is where you can put your tent down in. There's also places to peg this out. So you can peg these out together like this. So let's talk a little bit about this stove. It comes in just a really, really nice wooden box. And it also has a carry bag for the stove. You don't have to use them together. I chose to. It's got some extra panels here and some repair supplies. Again, they thought of everything. But you can take this out like so. And then this box would be fantastic for putting in the tent and storing some firewood or supplies, anything like that that you think you might need. Heavy duty latches, fastened down really nice, as you can see, and just really well made with excellent handles. And just again shows that it's a well thought out design. The stove is a stainless steel stove, has heavy duty handles on each side, so it's fairly easy to pick up and take out. It's like this. It's got a very nice damper with some spring coil handles on them, so that can keep you from getting too hot when you're putting your hand up there. It does have a removable ashtray, and that's so you can clean the ashes out inside the tent. It has some really good folding legs. There's a little spring and a detente you push here. They clip into place. All 4 legs do that. And then we have a fantastic wood stove. It's going to work well for whatever we need. These metal panels on the side are really unique. There are some thumb screws here, some wing nuts right here, right here. You can loosen these, and it's on both sides. This not only acts as a heat shield to protect you from touching the stove or any of your gear, but when you loosen that, you can slide these out. As you can see, there's some slabs here that slide in there, and each side has a heavy-duty fire-resistant window, so you can see the fire inside. And inside here is all of our stovepipe and accessories. Opening up the stove, very nice sections of stainless steel pipe, and nested in here, they even thought of an ash scoop or a coal scoop. Everything's included in this package. It's just wonderful. This is the top. Notice that it even comes with a pair of work gloves for handling everything, whether it be the firewood or adjusting the stove when it's warm or cleaning out the ashes. Also included in the kit, again, some more repair items. There's even some glue here in case you would get a hole. There's some fabric, not only for the tent itself, for the vinyl packaging or the carry bags, but also some camouflage netting. Just super well thought out. We have some extra screws, some repair items, and then I'll show you this. This is important. Inside there's a pole that you push up to open the tent as an umbrella. It's right here. Now obviously you don't want that in there while you're trying to camp, so this can unscrew, and then you can put this in its place, and that just makes it super nice for being able to store things and not hit your head. Now this next little item deserves a review all of its own, really. I was very surprised at everything that came with this. But you have a hammer and a stake puller, but you've also got some tools in here. You have a nice sharp knife blade, another hook, again for pulling out stakes or anything you wish to do that with. You got a can opener, bottle opener, a little bit of a wrench here. There's even a nice saw blade, and these all lock. It has a locking mechanism here, so you can lock them all. But probably one of the things that excited me the most about all of this is you open this end up right here. It's a little ferro rod, and using 9-degree spine on the back of the saw blade or some other scraper, you should be able to get some sparks off of that, so you have an emergency fire starter as well. That's pretty cool. All right, using our handy tool here and these nice stakes, I'm going to go ahead and stake it into the ground. Inside the tent we have a nice net, fastens on with some toggles and some clips, as you can see here. Very easy to put in, just clip it in like that. Just clips in just like that, very, very easy. Then you've got this nice grommet here where this goes up through, and you do that so it holds it all together. And you can use this net then for hanging clothes to dry. You can use it for hanging a light. You could put a headlamp or something in here which can show light to the rest of the tent. Now over here is where our stove jack is, and it's got a really nice fastener here, so you can put it up in there. You can also close this flap down. It's all Velcro if you don't want to use the stove. But we've got some protective material here, and then it also comes with an extra protective mat right here to go on the floor, which is probably a good idea to use anyway. We put it down here, and that's going to do a couple of things. Not only is it going to help protect the floor from puncture, but it's also going to give that extra heat protection from everything else. So if you spill some ashes or something like that, this is going to keep from putting holes in the floor of your tent. Next, we bring the stove inside and get it set about where we want it. So this is where the stove jack is located, and there's Velcro in here. So this just rolls up, and if you don't want to use the stove, you can just put it down underneath these flaps. Make sure that the Velcro is nicely tightened down, and the whole thing is camouflage and waterproof. Again, very easy to use. Just pull this up, roll it up, and tuck it back up under this flap. Next, we're going to go ahead and put on the stovepipe, and I really like the way this is tapered. It's designed right for the smoke to go out and so crisp so it doesn't drop down in. But just like this, fits down in there snug. The next piece, like so. Then we insert this through the roof and slide that together. Now you may have to adjust this a little bit somehow or another to make sure that the pipe is nice and straight. We've got the rest of the pipe to install outside, and notice that the spark arrestor, there's one built on the inside, there's one here, and it even has places where you can guy it out in case there's really high wind. So go ahead and put these two together, make sure they're nice and tight, and then install it and make sure that that's nice and sturdy there. Now it's far enough above the tent that we're going to get a good draft. It's going to draw well. We're not going to worry about a lot of sparks falling down on top of the tent and creating a fire hazard or melting holes in it. That's going to work just perfectly. It has excellent windows on both sides, completely water resistant. So there's one here, there's one opposite me. And the neat thing about this particular tent is it has two doors. Not only the one that I came in on, but there's another one there, right across from each other. So even in hot weather or warm weather, we can open up both windows, open up both doors. There's bug net on them. I'll show you that after a little bit. But it's just really, really well thought out for ventilation, for airflow. It's a double wall tent. So what you see here is only the inside. There's another outer wall that's going to help protect us from moisture and condensation. It also comes with some very handy pockets that are Velcro. Got some zippers on it. Clear plastic pouches. There are some gusseted pockets here which have Velcro, open up pretty wide. There's one here, one there, and then a closed zipper here, so we can put things that we need to see on this. And underneath the window we have a couple of places where we have some Velcro here, and we open this up, and this is designed so that it front and back traps this in here, so it's going to hold a lot of weight. Put that down over top of it just like this. There is some Velcro here on the back of this, and there's some Velcro on the wall. So this matches to that. And now it doesn't hang or swing out. It stays back against the wall. There's one on this side, and there's one directly opposite. So we can put this one over there. Also notice that we have mesh pockets all the way around on every part of the tent except where the doorways are. So there literally are 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, and then except for that one where the stove is, there's none behind there because of where the stove protector is, the heat shield. But that's a lot of pockets. The last thing I want to show you, which is just super cool, is this actually has a hard door, and it folds up. So again, just like the tent, it's kind of an umbrella thing, and you open it all the way up, You push it on the ground, push down in the center, and it pops into place. And it gives us this. Now, this door, it's got a handle here, but it's got really, really heavy duty Velcro all the way down it. And over here on the tent, up under here is a pocket with Velcro. So you tuck it up under here for rain protection, get it up as high as you can. See where the Velcro matches. Keep this pulled back and match that all the way down. Then when you get the door all the way down, take the top Velcro flap and fold it in over top of it and just press it down. And now we have a fantastic door, opens and closes. There's a lip here. This goes up under, of course, for rain protection, and down inside. So if it does rain, it's just going to run off. It's not going to get inside the tent. But you pull this, pops out to open it. And then, of course, because this is a multiple wall tent, more than one wall, we can zip this closed like this from the inside after we've closed the door, and have just an impervious barrier to wind or rain or snow or sleet or anything like that. Now notice that we also have a bug net. This is a no-see-em net, so once you get this up, people can't really look inside, although you'll be able to see out. But that is another layer that you can put up. And then there is an inner layer. And this is, again, for moisture vapor barrier. And all of this stuff can close from the inside or the outside. Opening the windows, quite simple. Just pull the Velcro up and you can roll this up just like this. Tuck it up under. And you'll notice that I have the clear plastic panel installed. This is, of course, for colder weather. This is very easy to take off. You just pull it back like this. You can roll that up. You don't have to take it off all the way. And then what we have is we have a nice window here with access to the interior. So we can open that like this. So we have good ventilation. We can close this like so. So we can get the mesh so the wind can blow through. And then if we want to, we can actually keep that rolled up. If a rain comes down, we can actually brace it like that. And that's gonna keep that open and also not allow the rain to come in. Velcro this down to the sides like it was. Just like that. And now even in rainy weather, we've got some airflow. Or at night for, say, we want it to get a little bit of ventilation but not too much. So that's pretty handy. This is a little stiff rod in here and it just attaches to the Velcro underneath there. It's got some Velcro on the top, you can see that. Pretty convenient. Besides the two windows toward the top, there's another item that makes this very useful. So we've got our large door here, but then the other side opens up as well, and you can put this door on either side. Now it only comes with one hard door. I'm sure you can order another if you want one on both ends. But you've got this great opening here. You can see we've got the screen just hanging loose right now. However, we can zip it shut, and there are some excellent toggles and clasps. You can roll back each one of the sections, so the outside is fast and the inside is fastened, and we're just using the mesh. It gives a really nice airflow through this way, depending on the prevailing wind. And so we've got two doors opposite and two windows this way. So there's literally ventilation on each one of the four sides. And even though it's relatively warm and the sun is shining, as you can see, it's fairly comfortable in here. Also attached to the tent, you can see the specifications here. And so it weighs 53 pounds, but it can hold up to 7 people. Has some cleaning instructions, storage instructions, and then even has the website over there on the right and a QR code. Now, to keep the door from accidentally blowing shut on me, I went ahead and just used a short bungee. So you can see where I attached it to the handle here, and then just one of the guy out points. So That works pretty well, gives some spring to it. You could just use a piece of cordage for that, but I had that along, so I thought that worked pretty well. I'm going to be putting in a cot and a mattress and show you what that whole setup looks like. Our very large and comfy air mattress, self-inflating, a couple inches thick, and that's going to give us a nice soft bed to sleep on. And of course, we've got to have a sleeping bag and a pillow. Okay, we've got a tent pretty well set up for sleeping. We've got the stove with the ash scoop, the gloves laid to the side, chimney, our open windows on either side, the back door with the mesh down. We've got our bed laid out right here. And then on this side, we've got the box with the storage bags. Another really cool feature of this tent is it has a zipper that goes all the way around the entire perimeter of the tent. And you can literally unzip the floor. And of course, here's the ground mat underneath it. But you could literally take this floor out and wash it. And I have unzipped it all the way around and zipped it back in, and it works well. It's easy to do. So while the capacity of this tent is listed as 7 people, that would be 7 on the floor in sleeping bags without the stove and you know, all of the things that I have in here. And you can see the cot, everything else takes up a fair amount of room, although there's plenty for gear space and all of that. For one person, this is like a cabin. It's absolutely phenomenal for one person or even 2 people. You could take out where this box is located and you could put another cot, or somebody could sleep on the floor. But yeah, there's different ways you could configure this. But for one person, I think this is an ideal size for plenty of room and space, even if you had to be stuck in here during rainy weather. So now all we have to do is collect some firewood and the rest of what gear we might want. We've got our backpack loaded on the bike. We'll be ready to spend the night. All right, well, we've got some wood here and got our little splitting maul, and we're just gonna split some firewood for the stove tonight. That up there. This is some ash. We've had a lot of ash trees go down, and so I'm gonna split these. It splits really nice and easy, as you can see. I've been splitting wood since I was a kid. It gets quite cool at night and want to make sure that we have plenty of firewood. Of course, once we get into the sleeping bag, it's not going to be such a big deal, but we want plenty of firewood for the stove. Oh, that one's a little bouncy. There we go. All right, pretty good. Now notice one of the things that I'm doing when you're using a short little splitting maul like this, I'm on my knees. That way if I would miss, it just goes into the ground. So that's a lot safer. Just a little tip for you. Now that's a handy little storage box. Another interesting thing to note about this stove is that it takes a pretty good sized piece of wood. This is 18 inches long roughly, and it will fit just fine into the stove lengthways with a little bit of room left over. Just like that. So this would be about the maximum size that you would want, but again, it's going to fit perfectly. All right, and just like that, we've got a full box of firewood. Close that down. Now we have a seat and a shelf to put our stuff on, as well as a nice dry supply of firewood for when the weather turns cold here in a little bit. Nice and cold. Well, the temperature's starting to drop. I've got my hoodie on, and it's time to get in the tent and get the fire going. So for this, we're going to use the little ferro rod, and I found that the bottle opener, can opener, works really good for striking sparks. So, all right. And what we've got is we have pre-positioned in here a little bit of cotton ball with some petroleum jelly on it. It's a little bit small for the angle that's in here. So this hammer kind of makes it a little awkward in a tight spot like this. Ah, there we go. All right, just like that. Now we've got a little bit of fat wood here, and I went out and picked up a bunch of sticks. So we'll put those in there too. All right, that's going pretty good. And there's no smoke in here or anything. It's drafting pretty well. Let's go ahead and close this door up a little bit. So it's a little bitty ferro rod, but you know, it works pretty good. And like I said, it's a little tight in there. So that was one of the main problems with getting it started. But definitely you could use this in an emergency. So it's a very valid little tool. And I think it's pretty neat that they included this in this kit. And we got smoke coming out of the chimney, and you can see the little bit of the red glow of the fire there inside. Sure makes it comfy and homey. And yeah, it's going to warm us up and keep the damp off tonight. It's going to be chilly, and this time of year here in Ohio, the air gets a real cold quality to it. Very damp, a lot of humidity in the air. And so, nice thing about a stove like that, we don't have to keep it burning really hot all night. It's not that cold right now, but it's definitely going to be chilly and damp, and that's just incredible. That's a lot of fun to have. For light, we've got this bulb, and it has a switch. This is a rechargeable bulb you can use for power outages or anything like that. And it's got this cap that comes off of it, and you just plug it into your house light. It's a pretty nifty deal. It stays charged all the time, and then when you use it, you put this on, and there's a switch here, on and off switch. It's got a nice little hook, and because of the way this is designed, you can either hang it from one of these hooks, or we can, doesn't have that kind of hook, you can just lay it up in there, and that's going to keep our light shining around the floor. Or you could put anything up here that you want to dry. But we're gonna use this light here. Turn it on, and it gives us really good light now for the interior of the tent. Well, it's getting dark, and we've got a nice full moon coming up behind the trees. And the fire in the wood stove is giving off a cheery glow, and it's nice and warm inside. What a great way to spend the night in the great outdoors. Well, folks, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. I got my nightcap on, keep my head warm, and it's really quite chilly outside, but the wood stove is just burning wonderfully. It's definitely keeping the shelter nice and warm, and I just added a couple of sticks to it, and just a very nice and cheery glow, and just super nice on a cold night like this. It's actually so warm in here right now that I'm not going to get in the sleeping bag yet. I'm just going to lay on top of it for the time being. Good night, everybody. Well, good morning. And it's a beautiful sunshiny morning. Slept really well last night, and got up every little bit to put some wood in the stove. And I have to say that it was a very comfortable evening. The stove did a phenomenal job of keeping the damp and the cold out, and it was pretty warm last night, and so I had the doors open. But then about halfway through the night, about 4 a.m., I had to get up, and so I went ahead and shut the doors. But yeah, good night's rest. I think it's interesting to note that I used a good deal of the firewood. But now, it wasn't super cold last night, but I think it's good to know that a box of firewood will get you through a night. And it's going to be a good morning for some bacon and eggs. All right, got some bacon ready to go here. I always like to put a little butter in it first, and that keeps the bacon from sticking to the pan. Put a little bit of grease in there to start with. All right, well, the bacon is doing real nice. So, and we're gonna have a couple of eggs here. These wonderful farm fresh eggs. Why doesn't that look delicious? And we switch sides here with the pan over here, and it's keeping everything nice and warm. And then we're perking some coffee. And our coffee is done. Go ahead and pour some in here. Gotta love these old-time spatulas. They just work so much better than the modern plastic ones. All right, crispy bacon, just the way I like it. And it's time to eat. Eggs are done to perfection. Everything looks fantastic. That looks so delicious. There's plenty of salt in the bacon, so I didn't necessarily need to salt the egg since I fried it in the bacon grease along with some salted butter. It sure is delicious. And that coffee, it's good and strong, just the way I like it. Well, I want to give a big thank you to everybody for watching this camping video, and a big thanks to RBM Outdoors for sending me the UP2 tent. Now, in full disclosure, they're not paying me anything to do this review, and I don't get any commission off the sales. It is a pricey tent, but again, it's one of those things that just has great value. The way it's set up for 4-season camping, it's really just perfect. And again, it's not something you're going to backpack. It's a very modern type tent. But again, if you're going out into the outdoors for any length of time, if you think there might be a hurricane, if you think there might be some sort of an extended power outage or something like that, and you would need to set up a shelter, or even just to have some family and friends coming over, have a place to stay extra for them, that would work for that as well. But it's a really enjoyable tent. It's pretty easy to put up and maintain, and I really like the way that it all functions together. The stove worked really well, kept me nice and warm. I didn't have to put a bunch of fuel in it. I'm sure I could have loaded it with fuel and it would have probably run me out of there. But I just put about 2 or 3 sticks at a time once I had a decent little bed of coals, kept the damper turned down, and it just kept going all night long. And got up every couple hours or so and put a little stick or 2 in there just to keep it going. So if you're interested in a serious outdoors tent that's going to last you for a lot of years and it give you great utility and function, I would encourage you to look up the RBM Outdoors, and they have different sizes. This is the UP2 tent, and I consider that one to be the best for me and for the things that I would use it for. And again, I appreciate everybody watching. This is James Bender for WayPoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure and check out the links in the description box below, just under the More button. While you're down there, you'll also find our WayPointSurvival.com link, and this is where you can sign up to take survival and bushcraft classes at our beautiful training facility here in Southern Ohio. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.